Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Friday edition of the Mop in Southwest Wisconsin. Full clear skies with plenty of sunshine. Welcome to the Mop. Life is a highway. So, in life, you have some options, just like you do when you're driving. If you see a stop sign, you can blow it and keep going. However, pay a penalty for it, maybe. If you cut corners, you might get in a head-on crash. That's right. Cutting corners has always been one of those things my mom says to never do. You do not cut corners no matter what you're thinking, because it will come back to haunt you or to cost you in the long run. You may have gained something in the beginning when you cut corners, but highly unlikely. You can go as fast as you want. You can go as slow as you want. You're going to piss a lot of people off usually at some point in the day. People are going to piss you off in so there's a lot of comparisons to driving, just like Southwest Wisconsin. There's people trying to make a living that are going at their own pace. There's people that are always wide open, and that ain't always good either. So you got to take it according to the terrain. If you're driving through 14 per se, before Jones Chevrolet or, Simpson tractor or tractors, that stretch of highway, or Walmart, you don't want to go too fast because you'll have to go to the dentist after you get all of your teeth rattled out. Or maybe it's part of that old fad of the shaking machine that was supposed to help you lose weight, because that chunk of road is terrible. However, they are doing work on it. So it depends on what kind of road you're on or what kind of highway you're on and where you put your life. Where would you put your life or what kind of road would you say your life is on? Are you on that backcountry highway, or are you on I-90, 94 dancing with disaster? Well, that reminds me of a gas hauling buddy of mine. That's what he has on the back of his truck, and that always made sense. Dancing with disaster. Yeah, Jay's a good man. But life is a highway. And sometimes you see people going through struggles. And I know this gentleman watches my shows every now and then, and so does his sister. His brother-in-law watches my show once in a while. I read a news article the other day, or yesterday, and at first I got concerned about Mr. Jim White. Jim White is one of the smartest mechanics I probably know. One of the nicest guys I know. His dad was an absolute gem. And, Jim White, I want to say congratulations to you for being nominated for Man of the Year, or by the article, I think you are the Man of the Year. You've been tested, pressure, all the above. Got to work with him in one of my first jobs doing boat sales and stuff at Farm Island Repair and Marine. I knew his dad working with my brother-in-law, Kelly, when they were at Auto Value. His dad was an awesome man. Yamaha snowmobiles up the yin-yang. Jim used to race snowmobiles. I played co-ed volleyball with him. But his highway has not always been smooth, similar to mine. But congratulations on being recognized and then going back to school to become an EMT, because you were before and you have that in your system. He's still part of the Malmo area first responders in that area, has raised a great family. But congratulations, Jim. Well deserved. A lot of things I could say, but it was a lot of fun working with you. But congratulations. Has lost a lot, now has gained a little back, but again, one of the smartest mechanics I probably knew, and just an all-around good guy. So congratulations. Now on to a couple other men that I have honored by their life as a highway. Mr. Robert Lake was a teacher of mine in high school. Nobody screwed around down by the ag department. Nobody bullied other people around the ag department. Because we had a teacher that would set you straight and had no problems doing it. And I don't think the school system ever told him what he needed to do differently. Taught kids how to be men and ladies and how to be approached and respect and everything else. And is got a well known for being, and this is where my real respect comes, is from Vietnam. The man went through hell and back. I can't imagine being 18 years old, 19 years, and going through the shit that these guys did. That's why their mentality are going to be always tougher than anybody else. In that ag department area too was Mr. Hoffman. He was the industrial arts teacher. One of my mentors all through school. And boy, I just couldn't think of a better group of teachers. Mr. Kochever, Mr. Hoffman, Mr. Lake. That end of the building, I think, was pretty much the anchor to Aiken High School. Because they didn't allow the BS shit to happen down by them. You didn't run in hallways because you could take a croquet mallet handle across the throat. You could, it was just a safe place to be, and that's needless to say why I probably spent my whole senior year in the wood shop. And that's where I started learning how to deal with people with disabilities and just having a great time working with Mr. Hoffman down there. Mr. Hoffman has passed. Mr. Lake, still on Facebook, and I did wrestling play-by-play. I was a basketball player. I just knew how to run the radio part. But Mr. Lake, one of the best wrestling commentators around, and it was a lot of fun. Bowling alley people, so your life gets onto a highway, and you basically have what I would consider these people as rest areas, but where you gain knowledge, where you gain things as far as perspective, as far as education, as far as how to treat people. That's where sometimes I don't think people are taking that time to really listen or pay attention to what people have to offer. That's why I like stopping at the port in the mornings. There's older guys there that have been through for farming far long, and they're beat up, and they're still doing it today. And we are losing more and more of those people all the time. And nobody takes the time to really understand the shit they went through. And you need to do that. As a younger generation comes up now with all the social media, texting, there's less talking. There's less talking of older farm guys like the farm behind me, the Roans, Marty Roan. Great guy, big farm. They've gone through all the changes. They don't milk anymore because of Schmidt's next door. They do 3,500 head or whatever it is. That to me is not farming. Because you don't see the cows outside. They don't go outside. You're not gaining the knowledge that these guys had when they were fixing shit with baler twine and some wire. Mr. Lake, you don't see teachers like it anymore. They're allowed to call them by their first names or their middle initials or whatever. My kids were never allowed to do that. It's not right, or at least around me they didn't. If they came home and said, hey, by the way, so-and-so, no, that's a Mr. or that's a Mrs. Some of that has been non-forwarded on to this generation of kids. Meeting people now. Like I discussed yesterday, meeting people like in high school, having to write a note or actually approach a girl. I don't know how many people are doing that anymore. Do you just text them? Do you send an Instagram? Do you send a Snapchat? See, rejection to your face is a whole lot bigger educational purpose than what it was before. Like my mom and them, Her first husband got kicked out of high school, got sent home the day to change his shirt because he had a white t-shirt on. He came to school in just a white t-shirt, got sent home. Now you're seeing, if you want to see the not so many fashion crazes, go to Walmart and you'll see people dressed that obviously don't give two shits about how they look in public. So that's where I'm going. Life is a highway. Sometimes it's got big holes in the road. Sometimes it's smooth, there's no doubt. But most of the time, life is going to be a struggle. I think a lot of people have this, especially when it comes to relationships and anything else, that if we hit a speed bump, all the wheels fell off. When in actuality, it's just a bump. You need to keep moving and be thankful for the passenger that is with you. I am blessed by a woman that sits in my passenger seat that has changed my IV bags out every day for 36 days or whatever it was, or changes bandages out on my foot when I was dealing with staph infection in my foot. You know, all of those. My wife has been side-by-side co-pilot for me, thank God, through stroke, Lyme's disease, all that. That's what you need to find. When you find somebody that will battle for you, thick and thin, high and low, don't do anything to screw that up. Because life alone, when you're just driving by yourself in your vehicle and shit goes sideways, it's not good to be alone. That extra set of helping hands is always important. I know a lot of wives that have lost their husbands or husbands that have lost their wives. And when you lose that co-pilot that you've had for 40 years, 30 years, 25 years, the vehicle, for one, doesn't drive the same. But then you're on a different road that you're unfamiliar with. And it could be at night, could be whenever. But then you're coming home to an empty garage. And there's no worse feeling than to not have somebody to be able to express what you're going through. So, if you have somebody that'll hop in the passenger seat and ride with you, take it for everything it's got and enjoy it. Don't throw them out of the passenger seat. Enjoy the ride, and especially honor those that are wanting to be around you. Yes, there's a lot of fish in the ocean, but there's also a lot that'll chew you up and spit you out. There's a lot that aren't good for you, period. So, when you find the right road and the right co-pilot, life is a highway. And it is enjoyable. A lot of times it's like driving on a country road, actually. This time of year, it's really cool to be on country roads because you see a lot of calves. It's kind of cool. I see a lot of farms every day going by and seeing new ones that are added. There were 4 yesterday. It's pretty cool to see that and how life goes. But life can be miserable if you want it to be. Or life can be great if you want it to be. So, study the roads, study where you want to go. Don't rely always on social media or your GPS. Sometimes venture off that new road, the one you haven't been on before, and see what life will bring you. That's where I'm at today. It's kind of a ramble. Hopefully it makes sense. A lot of times I think it doesn't to me, but then people say, well, Chris, that was really good. Again, check in on all your friends that you are, if you check on somebody that you haven't talked to for a long time, just say, hey, thought about you today. Wanted to know how you're doing. It's kind of what I did yesterday with a couple people. I try to pick out a couple just to check on them. When you have 400 friends on Facebook and you don't, I've always thought Facebook should have just friends and acquaintances. So you can put them people some in your acquaintance file, or people you know, Not so much friends. Friends should be their own little category. But choose that backcountry road sometimes, or choose the highway if you want to get somewhere. But best plan of action is to enjoy every day, because we are not guaranteed tomorrow. So have a great day. Thanks for tuning into the Mop. I will be back Monday morning with another edition. Who knows what's going to happen this weekend? But get out and about. Enjoy a local restaurant, maybe TKO, the Phoenix Center, Turbos. Found a new brewery in Melvina with my wife. Barefoot Farms Brewery in Melvina. Yes, I never knew where Melvina was. If you know where Melvina is, it's just out of Cashton. Venture on a highway, take a backcountry road. The best pizza I have ever had. Colonel Mustard is the name of the pizza. And no, it has a little mustard in it, but it has barbecue, and my wife hates barbecued pizza. And she absolutely loved it. Check it out. It's a great brewery. If you like beer, great place to go. Got a lot of good homebrew, but Melvina. And if you know where that is, you won't miss it. But Barefoot Brewery. And just a great place. He actually plays records still for music. Yes, the old needle. Yep, the old vinyl records. It's just an awesome place. So check it out. Take a different road today. Try to find something that'll make you better. Try to find something that'll make your life better. But if you found that person to ride shotgun with you, make sure they know how appreciative you are. And we'll go from there. I'll talk to you on Monday morning. And as always, take time to bless somebody today. Doesn't have to be financially, doesn't have to be anything. Just a note to say, hey, thinking about you, wondering how things are going. If you can financially drop somebody or pay for somebody behind you at Starbucks, whatever. Pay for somebody's coffee today. Say, thanks there. Or hate to use because my son's a deputy, but, send rolls to the sheriff's department, or donuts, or pizza, whatever it may be, or to the ambulance crews, or, whatever. That's what I'm talking about. Do something different. Have a great day. I'll talk to you Monday morning. And again, take time to bless somebody today.